Not many TV shows get under my skin. I enjoy them, and then move on. But The X-Files is different. Each and every episode is a different story, all which stay with you long after the credits roll. Home is one such episode. Aired on the 11th of October 1996, it's one of the most disturbing hours of television ever broadcast. Today, we're diving into that episode, discovering what makes it just so terrifying, and why it was the only banned episode of The X-Files. When Home first aired in 1996, it was met with backlash almost immediately. The creators did expect some to an extent. With what's in this episode, it's not surprising. However, what they most likely didn't expect was for it to be banned for 3 years after its first airing. Why? Well, let's talk about it. As a basic plot summary, this episode follows Mulder and Scully as they investigate the death of a deformed infant found just off the residence of a rural family backyard. What they uncover leads them to the reclusive Peacock family and a whole world of horror, despair, and disturbing violence. This episode features scenes that contain taboos, themes, and imagery most shows would be too afraid to even touch on, especially a primetime show like X-Files. The fact that it did it and ran with it is a testament to its ability to portray the worst of humanity and the best. There's no alien, no ghost, no supernatural twist. The horror is from a place more human, and in my opinion, that makes it all the more terrifying. All of the horror is plausible, not far-fetched. It could truly happen. It's the little things that make the most terrifying stories. Okay, so from here on out, I'm talking about the plot. So if you still haven't seen the episode, now's your chance to pause the video, watch it, and come back without spoilers. Rain pours down over a field as you hear the screams of a woman in childbirth. In total silence, the baby is buried in the dirt. That's it. The cold open doesn't have a UFO or a cryptic teaser. It's just death. It's the perfect way to set up what is an incredibly disturbing episode. Mulder and Scully arrive after the body is discovered by some kids in a field. An autopsy reveals extreme amounts of genetic deformities, and that the baby was alive at birth. Something, or someone, truly horrific is at work. All the evidence points to the Peacock family, a trio of adult brothers living in a neglected farmhouse with no electricity or connections and seemingly no parents. The town sheriff tells them that the Peacocks have been there for generations, totally isolated, and thus rumours of inbreeding are rampant. It's clear that whatever happened is somehow related to this distant, isolated family. The episode from here evolves into a dread-filled descent. The sheriff and his wife are murdered in what is one of the most brutal murders ever shown on TV, all to the tune of Johnny Mathis's song, Wonderful, Wonderful. This scene hit harder than anything I've seen in this series. I was on the edge of my seat as the sheriff picked up the baseball bat, seeing the brothers enter his house. It's just so starkly brutal, with the Peacocks visibly beating him with his own bat, all to the happy tune of the song. More Texas Chainsaw Massacre than X-Files. It's at this point that the episode evolves into psychological horror, removed totally now from the paranormal. Eventually, the truth is revealed. The brothers didn't just commit murder, they've kept their quadruple amputee mother under a bed. She's the mother and partner to the Peacock brothers. It's a horrifying twist, and it solidifies just how scary this episode is. The mother is a snarling matriarch who controls her sons to do her bidding. It's a turning point in the episode as the danger is now real, plausible. However, Mulder and Scully won't stop in their mission to close this case. Arriving at the Peacock family house with backup, they look for clues before being ambushed by the Peacock brothers. A cop is murdered before Mulder and Scully are entwined in a struggle for survival that eventually leaves 2 of the brothers dead. The one surviving child escapes with his mother in the car trunk, like some twisted Bonnie and Clyde, ready to cause chaos away from the grasp of the FBI. Both Mulder and Scully are left to dwell on their failure and the deaths caused, as no proper justice is handed out with the criminals, who are free to go anywhere they want. It's a sad, terrifying and disturbing ending. Now, this episode is obviously quite different from other episodes. It's more disturbing, what with the infanticide and realism. But there are so many different reasons why it's scary. This episode contains so many classic American traditions and values. White picket fences, baseball, and cooking, which is warped with the rot and destruction hidden underneath. It tells a story about what happens when people isolate for too long, and about what happens when tradition becomes obsession. This episode just felt different. It got rid of the normal, not too deep monster of the week formula and gave us a deep, disturbing episode. There are tight, cramped shots in the house, juxtaposed by the wide shots of the outside. It creates a false sense of safety throughout the whole episode. Alongside that, the escalation of tension feels unusually fast for the show. We open immediately with the burial of the child, something so brutally shocking that it's just totally unexpected. Further on in the episode, the pace slows, with the reveals being extended. The audience knows something is wrong before we know the full extent of just how wrong it is. I mean, another factor which, in my opinion, helps demonstrate just how different this episode is how mean it feels. There's no happy resolution. The police sheriff, his wife, and his assistant all die. The Peacocks escape to cause chaos elsewhere. The X-Files has done sad or macabre endings before, but mixed with the glumness of the episode as a whole, it just feels like it really wants to hammer in the sadness. I think the best indicator into just how terrifying this episode is to see how it was received compared to other episodes. From its first airing, it was hit with backlash, especially as it was totally different from other X-Files episodes. It was given a TVMA rating for its gruesome and horrifying imagery, and was banned for 3 years after its premiere. Many cited it as sick, disgusting, and horrible. However, nowadays, it's one of the most iconic episodes of the show, alongside such classics as Squeeze and Ice. Back when it first aired though, this episode was much more taboo, an episode people whispered about, one switched off if children were in the room. Home was starkly different, and that's when it made it fascinating. Its utter horror and brutality. I mean, Fox had to put a content warning on this episode, which played before it aired. Yet, despite that, the creators didn't intend for shock value. They wanted to tell an actual story. It's disturbing, but still has a message, hidden behind the brutality of the gruesome crimes. You won't forget the Peacocks once you watch this episode, and you probably won't sleep too well either. So, that was Home. It's a story that lingers, a story that sticks with you long after you've finished it. The Peacocks remind us that the real monsters lie behind closed doors, under family secrets, and buried deep in forgotten soil. You know what? I want to see what you think. Was this the scariest X-Files episode ever? Or was there another terrifying episode that really sat with you long after it was over? I want to hear your own take. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more X-Files or TV show episode reviews, just tell me in the comments. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you want more reviews of your favourite horror and sci-fi media, subscribe for more deep dives. Until then, stay safe, because in the X-Files, the monsters aren't out there, they're already home.